The movie opens in a shattered world, smoke and fire devouring everything, chaos reigning supreme. A calm, haunting voice begins to narrate. He was the best treasure hunter alive. He could find anything, anyone, anywhere. But that was before the sun flares scorched the earth, before the world drowned in darkness and despair. Governments collapsed, unable to restore order, and Europe fractured, its ruins now ruled by ruthless warlords. Amidst the ashes stands one man, Jake. Once a legend, still a treasure hunter. 6 years later, Jake is back on the hunt, this time for a priceless violin hidden in the ruins of an old house. With years of experience guiding him, he moves like a master. First, he discovers a hidden vault tucked behind a dusty bookshelf. Using UV light, he managed to uncover the letters used to lock the vault. He deciphers their arrangement and cracks it open. But inside lies yet another vault, this one sealed with music. He uncovers a stack of ancient gramophone records. Only the right melody will open the chamber. Jake takes a gamble, the record spins, and the vault clicks open. The legend was true, he was still the best. Inside rests the violin. He grabs it, ready to leave, but danger finds him first. Thugs dressed in police uniforms swarm the house, their weapons raised. They charge. With deadly precision, Jake guns them down one by one, then leaps onto his motorcycle and vanishes into the night. The legend carried a secret all along. Jake wasn't just the world's greatest treasure hunter, he was also a master fighter. Back in the Grand Palace of King August, Jake arrives on his motorcycle, the violin secured at his side. He is greeted by Fuentes, the king's sharp and loyal chief assistant, who delivers his reward. But Fuentes has more, an offer from the king himself. Another mission. Another fortune. Yet when Jake learns the job would take him overseas, across dangerous lands, he refuses. Too many warlords, too many diseases beyond the channel. He chooses instead to return to his quiet boat. As Jake rides away, King August watches from above. His eyes narrow, his voice cold as he turns to Fuentes. If he refuses, then raise the reward until he cannot say no. Back on his boat, Jake feeds his loyal dog and collapses into sleep. His dreams take him to the open sea, clear skies, calm waters, and a woman standing on the deck before him. But the dream shatters at the sound of a noise outside. Jake wakes instantly. Armed and alert, he steps out to find a soldier caught in one of his traps. Gasping for breath, the soldier delivers a message. The king himself wants to meet you away from the palace. Upon arriving at the secret location, Jake came face to face with King August. They sat, and the king revealed the mission, one unlike any other. He wanted Jake to retrieve the Mona Lisa, hidden deep inside France. Long ago, before the sun flares, the French government had locked away its greatest treasures in a fortified vault. But France was no longer free. It had fallen under the iron fist of General Volkov, a ruthless Russian warlord. The king slid a map across the table, explaining that rebel forces inside France would aid Jake along the way. The reward? Not gold, not jewels, something far more personal. The king promised to restore Jake's beloved boat to brand new glory. With little hesitation, Jake accepted. He handed his dog into Fuentes' care and boarded a plane bound for France. But even in the roaring sound of the plane, Jake's mind betrayed him. The dreams struck again. Visions of his boat adrift under a clear sky, and the same mysterious woman standing on deck. But as the aircraft neared enemy territory, the sky lit up with chaos, heavy anti-aircraft fire tearing through the air. With no time to lose, Jake strapped on a parachute, grabbed his gear, and hurled himself into the night sky. Jake landed in war-torn France, the ground scarred by fire and ruin. As he made his way through a shattered village, a rumble shook the earth. A tank locked its sights on him. With nowhere to run, it seemed his journey would end before it even began. But just as the cannon prepared to fire, a squad of rebels struck. They swarmed the machine, setting it ablaze in a storm of fire and smoke. Grateful, Jake learned from them that more allies awaited him further down the path, ready to guide him through the danger. Meanwhile, in the heart of France, General Volkov ruled with iron cruelty. Cities burned under his command, villages drowned in blood. In his palace of terror, he sat calmly at a chessboard, forcing prisoners to play. One by one they fell, and every man or woman who failed to defeat him met the same fate: death at the hands of the warlord who played chess with lives. His assistant Goranik entered with grim news. An unidentified plane had breached their airspace, and a single parachute was spotted landing within their territory. Volkov's eyes narrowed. With cold fury, he commanded his army, "Find him." Meanwhile, Jake encountered Dree, a fearless member of the rebel resistance. She led him to a hidden church, where a priest, another loyal rebel, offered his help. He handed Jake the keys to powerful pickup truck, their only hope of escape. But before they could move, the roar of engines filled the air. Volkov's soldiers had surrounded the house. The priest, knowing what was coming, stepped outside to buy them time. His shots found their mark, wounding the enemy leader. But the soldiers retaliated, cutting him down in a hail of bullets. Jake and Dree barely managed to start the truck and tore down the road with the army on their tail. Bullets ripped through the air, tanks pounded the ground, explosions lighting up the sky as they fled into the night. They reached an old army vault in Suoli, only to find it empty. No painting. No treasure. But as Jake searched the wreckage, he discovered something else. A hidden book, containing clues to the real location of France's lost treasures. Before they could leave, shadows moved across the walls, shouting loud, agile figures, storming the building like ghosts. But Jake had already set a trap. As the intruders breached the door, a grenade detonated, wiping out the entire squad in a single, thunderous blast. Back at Volkov's base, rage filled the warlord's eyes. He rode into the village of St. Quentin, where Jake had escaped, and executed the officer who had failed to capture them. The message was clear: no mercy for failure. Jake and Dree follow the book's lead to Simserhof. But Volkov is no fool. From his armored train he discovers the same book, and with a UV lamp traces the exact mark Jake had pointed to. He now knows where they're headed. In cold efficiency, he finishes off the last surviving man from the grenade blast and orders the pursuit. On the road, Dree radios the rebels, telling them of the new destination. When they reach Simserhof, Dree moves fast. She sabotages a massive solar array, plunging the compound into shadows so Jake can slip inside through the ventilation ducts. What they find in the vault shatters every expectation. The Mona Lisa is no painting at all but a monstrous weapon, an atomic device disguised beneath a canvas, surrounded by caches of arms. Dree explains the truth. The plan forms in an instant. Jake will get his boat repaired, the rebels will secure weapons, King August will take possession of the weapon for his own purposes. But loyalties and fear fray quickly. Jake, restless and wary, grabs a truck and rides off, refusing Dree's pleas to stay and help. She refuses to wait. She organizes the rebels to transport the bomb. As they load the device, Volkov's train appears like doom on the horizon. Soldiers pour out, slaughtering the rebels and riddling the convoy with gunfire. Dree is hit in the leg. The weapon is seized and loaded onto Volkov's train. Jake, haunted by his choice, turns back, too late to stop the takeover. He finds Dree gravely wounded. With a single, desperate decision, he rigs C4 and detonates the vault in a raging inferno to deny Volkov the prize. Smoke and flames swallow Simserhof as Jake jumps back into the chase, the warlord's train steaming ahead with a stolen doomsday on board. Dree, battered but unbroken, roared ahead in the truck, her last stand already set in motion. Beneath the bridge that Volkov's train would soon cross, she planted a string of C4 charges. Meanwhile, Jake leapt onto the speeding train. The battle erupted in chaos. Bullets screamed through the night as Jake tore through Volkov's soldiers. Some dropped to his razor-precise shots, others fell to his brutal fists and steel-crushing kicks. Then came Goranik, the general's ruthless lieutenant. The two clashed in a blur of fists and fury until Jake overpowered him. General Volkov emerged. Their fight was vicious, relentless, a clash between survival and obsession. In the chaos, Jake seized the bomb's safety detonator, ensuring the weapon could never be armed again. With seconds to spare, he leapt from the train. The bridge exploded in a blinding inferno. Volkov's train plunged into the abyss, swallowed by smoke and fire, ending the tyrant's reign in one final, thunderous crash. Jake returned home, the detonator, the key to the world's last nuke, in his hand. He handed it to King August, fulfilling his promise. Then, without a word, he turned back to his boat, the sun setting behind him, and disappeared into the horizon, the legend of the last treasure hunter living on. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this wild ride, don't forget to like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit that subscribe button for more epic recaps. Until next time, stay tuned because the next story is just around the corner.